Here is your quick 5-minute guide to reroll Lux, our favorite plucky Star Guardian Sailor Scout. I tested this a ton in PvE, and the more I played it, the more consistent I got with it, and the more I think it can be a viable comp. But you're going to want to stay tuned because there are a couple scenarios where you're definitely going to want to pivot away from this comp. So if you find some early Lux, Yuumi, Lee Sin, Gangplank, Malphite, or Rel, you will have a great reason and a great start to just go for this comp. Also, if you get Lux's damage augment in the first round at 2-1, definitely consider going reroll because it boosts Lux's damage so much. And even as a 1-cost unit, if you 3-star her with the supers buff, which gives you 20% plus 5% damage for every 3-star you have, you can soar to the top 4 and in a lot of cases the top 1 or 2 spots. If you find a lot of copies of another unit where you think you can 3-star them, save them as well, because if you can push level 7 and get a 7th 3-star unit, you are laughing. For traits, this build synergizes very well. You're going to have 3 supers, 3 Star Guardian, 2 Heart, and 2 Mascot, which is perfect. They all work really well together in this reroll build. Early game, you are going to want to econ as much as possible and try to stay at level 5 for as long as possible, at least until you 3-star Lux and hopefully Gangplank. If you 3-star both, immediately push to level 6 so you can get your synergies going, econ to 50 gold, and slow roll until you 3-star the rest of your units. Ideally, you're going to 3-star all 6. After you've 3-starred everyone, I actually recommend starting to econ really well and leveling up until you hit level 7 and level 8 and add in some additional synergies. Maybe go 5 Star Guardian or maybe some extra heart units, whatever you need to boost Lux's damage or make her cast as many times as possible. When you should not go for this build is when supers is very contested. If there's at least 2, if not 3 people going for supers, that might be a big problem. Also, if you don't find a lot of Yuumi, Lux, Rel early, and you're not going to 3-star them, definitely stay away. And if you don't get an augment that is at least one of the 6 units that you're going to need, I recommend pivoting because I think your damage or survivability will lack a little bit. If your first 2 augments rock but are not hero augments, then I think you can still go for this build. Just be aware that your last augment, if it's a hero augment, you're going to probably want to put in whatever unit you get a hero augment. But by that time, you should be at the point where you're ready to go to level 7 anyway. For items, you are definitely going to want to prioritize AP items, of course. One thing that you can do is build a Giant Slayer. So if you do get some of those 80 items, Giant Slayer works great on Lux, but a Shojin and a Jeweled Gauntlet or an Archangels work amazing. You can put secondary AP items if you get a lot of them on Yuumi or Gangplank, it doesn't really matter. If you get some AD items, Lee Sin actually scales pretty well with AD, but you're going to want to put all your tank items on probably Rel or Lee Sin, one of the 2. Your positioning is going to look something like this, and it stays pretty consistent through the entire match, just making sure that you have Lee Sin that is going to be next to your main tank so he can keep them alive for as long as possible. The longer this fight goes, the more burst you're going to get with Lux. In a couple games, I've hit 15, 17, and 20,000 damage with Lux in a single round, which is comparable to some of the other 4-cost carries that I've been experimenting with. And a lot of the 3, 4, 5-cost carries I've used didn't even hit 20,000 damage. So that to me means it is very strong. So again, you just need to make sure that the fights last long enough for Lux to keep casting and casting and casting, and she will do some serious damage. Also, Lux is really good against AD comps because her ability reduces their AD. So if she casts immediately onto the backline, it is going to help your Rel and your Lee Sin survive long enough for your Lux to clean up the fight. You can see here I added in 4 heart and 2 spell slingers with emblems and pushing levels. It's really a good idea to do that so that you can maximize the AP damage on your team. Based on how the PvE is going and the reliance on hero augments, I think reroll comps are going to be very strong and very priority, at least in the early patches of set 8. So I recommend learning some reroll builds to help you climb as quick as possible, or if you don't play ranked, just win as many games as possible. Have you tried this build yet? If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I will answer every single one, and we'll see you at the next 5-minute guide.